What if I told you a kid's bedtime story could be the difference between a dog staying in the shelter or finding a new home? There's one humane society in Missouri that seemed to have cracked the code. For our second story today, imagine showing up to your very first prom at 82 years old.
What?
And the chaperones are high schoolers. It's real, it happened, and we're gonna look at it. And for the grand finale, this one might even make you cry. One weekend out of the year, there's a father-daughter dance inside of a prison. All that and a little bit more today on the Good Nüs. Run it.
Hey, Prom, how you doing? Do I look good from where you standing?
I know I do.
I know there's a couple of things in life I need to ready.
Welcome back to the Good Nüs, a show where we look at good news from around the world, different communities, industries, even species, politics aside. And with that, my name is Logan, and let's dive right into it.
Aim for the bushes.
Let me ask you all, what's a small moment in your life that made you feel unexpectedly connected to someone? Let us know down below. It could be serious, could be silly. For me, my mind goes to playing BO3 Zombies with a few strangers back at Tech. There's just something about running for your lives from a horde of zombies with a bunch of gentlemen that you don't truly know that leads to a brotherhood that you can't even begin to comprehend.
They were both thinking.
To kick things off, think with me here. You're in an animal shelter. You see a kid sitting cross-legged on the floor reading a story to a dog. And no, it's not the Scooby-Doo movie, although sometimes I do think about that one clip where they were trapped in those metal balls.
Want to buy a box of cookies?
Excuse me. Have you heard the good news?
Yeah, there's cookies.
However, this actually happens in St. Louis, Missouri. So the Humane Society in Missouri started this new program called Shelter Buddies Reading Program. And it's as easy as kids ages 6 to 15 coming in and reading to the dogs. And if you guys have been to a shelter, you know the kind of lives that these dogs can come from. Some are very scared and skittish, and others are just nervous and untrusting around people. Even Ranger, when we got him for the first few days, he didn't really eat. This is him now. Look at him. He's my best buddy. Old as all be, but you know, he's still my best buddy. And after rolling this program, this is what the Humane Society noticed. Calmer dogs get adopted faster. And the adoption rate skyrocketed. It is absolutely crazy. And it's crazy because it's like a double whammy of goodness. The kids get to practice reading without the pressure of a bipedal audience, and the dogs get to learn to be more comfortable around people. And what's crazy is that this story adds a completely new perspective for the trips I took to the Humane Society as a kid. I remember I always told my mom I wanted to take home the dog that had the most personality, or the dog that I clicked the most with, you know? But looking back at it now, it's easy to see that not all these dogs do come from playful backgrounds. And that's exactly why I'm happy to see this, because it's just great to see the shelters putting forth the effort to teach these dogs to trust again. And hopefully after going through this program, the dogs can find a new family with whom they can let their personality shine, and maybe even get the biggest bed they could have ever dreamed of. And that right there is some good news. Moving on to our second story today. Okay, picture this. You're at prom, right? Low lights, music playing, everyone dressed to the nines. Now imagine your date is 82 years old.
I also like to live dangerously.
And if I was out there, probably a way better dancer than me. That's exactly what happened in Midland, Michigan. So here's the deal. A local high student decided to throw two proms. One for themselves and the second for the elderly community that neighbored the high school. And they did all the heavy lifting. They brought the foods, they brought the decorations, the corsages, the music, the chaperones. And after seeing some of these pictures, I got a little bit of FOMO seeing them hit what could have only been the Cupid Shuffle. And I know they were busting out some moves those kids don't know about. And here's what gets me about this. What was found out is that some of these residents never went to prom before. And it's crazy to think that their first prom was with people 50, 60, 70 years younger than them. And the same is true for my grandma. I would love to go dancing with her. And believe me, she's got some moves that'll leave your jaw on the floor. But she's a few states over, and so I don't get to see her but once in a blue moon. And sometimes I worry that if myself or my brothers aren't there with her, who's she going to throw down with? And that's why I love this so much. Because the students plan on doing it every year. It's a new tradition for them. And I know if Mama June got to go dancing once a year with some kids, Lord have mercy, that'd be the end of their hips, not hers.
Save yourself.
And how often do you see different generations truly making an effort to get to know each other and learn from each other, and most importantly, laugh with each other? And that right there is some good news. And for the grand finale, pardon my somberness, but this might be the most heartwarming story I've heard all year. Imagine the quintessential father-daughter dance, except this is in a prison. Angela Patton runs a program down in Richmond, Virginia called Girls for a Change. And when she started her Date with Dad weekend, a few of the girls asked the same question. My dad's in prison. Can I see him too? And Angela saw that these girls weren't just missing their dad. They were carrying around sort of an identity with them. That my daddy's in jail and I'm disconnected and sometimes I'm ashamed. So Angela pitched the idea to the jail, and the inmates could not have dreamed for anything better. But there was a catch. Every dad had to participate in parenting classes first. So they weren't just handed the moment, they had to show initiative in seizing it. And when it happened, I tell you, everybody loved it. I mean, look at this. It sort of brings to light the emphasis of our media today. There's a lot of talk about rehabilitation, but how much emphasis is on the father-daughter relationship? Like, prison can break a father in 100 different ways. Missed birthdays, missed first days of school, missed I love yous. And for the kids, sometimes it's easier just not to think about dad at all. And that's why this night is so special. And for a few hours, there's no jumpsuit, no glass between them, no counting down the minutes at visitation, just dad holding his daughter's hand. And here's what gets me about it. Those girls get to go home with proof that their dad can show up for them. And those dads get to leave knowing that they've done something worth fighting for. And Date with Dad weekend might not change the whole system, but for those families, it definitely changes everything. And that right there is some good news.
Are you crying?
No, I just have something in both my eyes.
Moving on to a little bit more, did you know that there are therapy animals for animals? Crazy, right? There's some shelters that have trained therapy dogs that help socialize shy or timid dogs.
What you hugging me for? He told me to.
And that about wraps up another episode of The Good News. And if you guys see value in this sort of content and you believe in it, don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button. Our goal is to build a community of people that want to help each other in any way that they can, even if it's just sharing a simple conversation with a new friend a couple thousand miles away.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
And if you guys have any good news, no matter how big or how small it is, let us know in the comments. We'd love to shout you out in the next community highlight. And I've said it 1,000 times, be sure to get plenty of doom scrolling in Friday to Wednesday, because next Thursday, if we're on time, on schedule, and on demand, we're going to be right here talking about some good news. And I hope to see you then. And as Patches O'Houlihan says, bye-bye.
Hey, karma, how you doing?
Tell me what it is.
Do I look good from where you standing?
I know I do.
I know there's a couple of things in life I need a band.
All true.
Hey,
What's
karma,
up, baby?
how you doing?
Tell me.
Do I look good from where you
I feel
standing?
like I need some pep.
I know there's a couple of things in life. I know there's